Welcome back to this Rift Let's Play. You're Sambo, Seraphis, and joining us as always is the dual-wielding sword and mace, Tallahassee. Did you like it that time, mate? How are you this evening? Did you think I was going to mention the nipples?
That was actually a proper introduction. You know, not... Here is Norks Akimbo, Tallahassee.
Norks Akimbo. You know what? If you make another character, my friend, you have to name it Norks Akimbo, if you ask me. What do you think, folks at home? And welcome to you there. There you go. Tallahassee finally got his wish. We're only, what, 60 episodes in, and finally we don't mention his nipples that much. No, I'm not going to mention your nipples as much as I used to mention your nipples, okay? So no more of the nipples. Anyway, how have you been?
Great.
Look at him, he's face palming. I can tell by the tone in his voice he's face palming. Now, one thing I hope you didn't face palm about Tallahassee, because I really want to ask about this. Folks, Tallahassee had a raid on the weekend in Rift, and of course, my friend, certainly not on this character, but on your level 50 warrior, no doubt. What was it? And tell us how it went. Was it a success for the guild and for your good self?
It was great success for the guild. We have finally cleared GSB.
GSB, what's that? Green scale?
Green scale blight.
Right, so that's the big dragon, right?
Well, technically, it's... you remember Prince Hylas? We've spoken to him a few times.
I do.
Yep, so it's really his raid. And then the final boss is Greenscale, who he was trying to harness the power of.
Greenscale, the almighty dragon?
Yes. You actually see a glimpse of him in the intro when you come out of the starter zone. He's a massive green dragon.
Oh, is that him?
And yeah, that's him. And that fight is actually one of the most complicated and hard fights I have done in forever. What,
in you mean in Rift or in any MMO?
But in any MMO, in terms of what goes on in the phases and the amount of things that you need to watch out for, it is really, really complicated.
Okay, so hang on, so let's get this right. And I know we've talked about this in the past. They are basically saying, hey, you can't AFK in a raid or you're going to screw up your team. Is that what it's all about?
Pretty much. There's no LOL auto shot going on here. This is all you need to be switched on, otherwise things will go bad and you will wipe the raid. Right.
And by the way, speaking of which, how long is a raid like that? I mean, obviously it's a progression-based game, so presumably you can break it up into chunks, but typically what sort of stints do you guys do, you know, when you have at it? Are you in there for an hour, 2 hours? What's the deal?
Well, we got in there on the Thursday. No, sorry, it was the Friday, and we cleared the first 5 bosses, which just left us with Hylas. Oh, sorry, not Hylas, with Greenscale.
Greenscale, yep.
Yep. So we got up to Greenscale, and then that was about 2 hours.
Wow.
And then we came back on the Sunday night, and yeah, we spent about 2 hours just getting Greenscale right, because it was the first time a lot of us had really seen the encounter.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch a video and you can read people telling you what you have to do, but actually getting in there and doing it and getting used to the mechanics are two totally different things.
Yeah. Agreed. So how many...
No, but it was actually really good.
Right, so look, what was your role? Because I mean, obviously you're dual spec, I'd imagine, up at that level as well on your other character. But were you DPSing? Were you an off tank? What was the go?
I was pure DPS.
Nice. So even then though, I'd imagine that there are mechanics in the fight, so that even as a DPS class, you're having to keep your wits sharp and move about and get out of the way of things and timing, and does it take into consideration all of those different facets? Yeah, right. Okay, that's great to hear.
Yeah, it does. Like there's a cast that he does something Genesis. I can't remember the full name of it, but what it does is it puts like a plant down where you were standing, and you have to move out of it really quickly because it does like a 2.5k dot.
Whoa, whoa, ouch.
While you're standing in it, and it also slows you, so you need to move out of that before it kills you.
Right, right. This is good. You see, this is where Trion are really smart and have, obviously catering for a specific audience, but, they're actually making these encounters. Now, of course, I'm talking out of my rear because I've never been to one, but based on what you're saying, making them actually meaningful, engaging. I mean, we don't come to games like this to simply sit there and go 1 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 1 1, do we? We come to enjoy ourselves, stretch our brain a bit, have a relax, have a bit of stress, and most importantly, get that real sense of satisfaction when you down a particularly difficult or challenging boss. And it sounds to me that from everything you've described about the end game here, that these raids are exactly that. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. They're a lot of fun.
Alright, that's good.
I mean, they're difficult, but they're a lot of fun. Like, there's another boss that we spent a bit of time on, and we have downed him before, but we didn't quite manage to get him down last weekend.
Right.
That's Plutonus the Immortal.
He's hard?
He's really difficult, yeah. He has more health than Greenscale does.
Well, okay.
And he's basically got like a DPS timer. The last sort of 20%, yeah, maybe 10%, it's basically just a massive DPS race.
Okay, yep.
And when I say massive, I mean massive. There's still a lot of health for you to go ahead and carve off.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you get put in a position where you have to be in a certain location.
Right.
So basically, you need to stack up right on his. You need to stack up right on his back legs.
Oh, yep.
And you actually get caught in this electrified fence.
Ooh.
And it keeps narrowing.
Oh.
And eventually it'll get down to a certain point where it'll wipe the road if you haven't killed him by then.
Oh, so it literally is a DPS race.
Yeah, no, it's like a full-on serious race. You need to get there or you're done.
Whoa, so I guess that's a non-obtuse way of gating DPS, I suppose, because of course, I mean, if you're under par in terms of DPS with your raid, there's nothing you can do. You
want to get past him.
No, so you're gonna have to go away and get better gear.
Yeah, if you can't kill Plutonus, then you can't do Herald and you can't do Elspeth.
Right, there you go. A perfect example of a DPS gate. Well, look, again, sorry to quiz you so much on all of that, and of course, folks, certainly hope that you found that interesting, and we'll get on with the normal questing here now, but always think it's great to get an insight to the end game of an MMO, because of course a lot of people always ask about it. A lot of people don't ever make it that far, and of course there's always generally, I mean, Tallahassee, feel free to disagree with me on this one, but if you ask me, if there's generally a criticism, a generic criticism of MMOs, it's that end game, in inverted commas, sucks, right? I mean, that's where players complain the most, I think, anyway.
Yeah, look, I can understand their reasoning for saying that, and I've got to say, if we look at World of Warcraft, because that's one that most people play.
Yep.
The end game in World of Warcraft now,
yeah,
I don't think is anywhere near as challenging as what it was back in vanilla.
Agreed, totally. Agreed. And in fact,
if you have a look at the encounters that were in vanilla, they were so far and away harder than what they are now.
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, you need a little bit more coordination now and you can't have as many people slacking off, but the challenge was getting 40 people to do what you want when you want them to.
Yep.
And not only that, you have a look at what we were putting out back in vanilla. People were putting out like 1300k DPS. That was massive. Now they're putting out like 25,000.
Yeah, I know. It was a totally different scale, wasn't it? But you know what? You're right. And we've mentioned this before, I think. Whereas, half of the skill of a raid is not the boss, it's the other players. In fact, a lot of people say that your main boss in a raid is the other players because of that whole organisational thing. And do you remember the sense back in the good old days, Blackwing Lair and Molten Core and all the rest of it, of achievement when you did make it to the successful side of a 40-man raid? I mean, you're walking around on clouds for me it was for weeks, because it's like, holy shit, we actually pulled that off. You know, it was a major sense of achievement. And that, by the way, was before there were actual achievements. You know, just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I was in a fairly serious raiding guild. And when BC came out, we sort of died in the arse because we were just too burnt out from vanilla.
Yeah.
But, you know, we were going to AQ40. We actually cleared all the way up to Seathune. We didn't actually clear Seathune itself, although we did get him down to like single-digit percentages. But I don't know, we just didn't have enough DPS to get through it.
Yeah.
And we tried Nax. Like, we all went into Nax, and we thought, oh yeah, this will be easy. And we got through Spiderwing.
Yep. And
we got through Abomination Wing. And then we hit the Death Knight Wing. And we got slaughtered on 4 Horsemen so many times.
Oh, yes.
We just could not get through 4 Horsemen.
Yep, that brings back many frustrating memories. I was the same too. But you know what? That was my favourite encounter. Yeah. That was my favourite encounter because it was so hard. Yep.
And when Nax was released again, I hated it.
Yes.
I really hated it. There wasn't the same sort of thing. I know, like, Hagar was there and you had to do the dance.
Yeah,
but that sucked for me because my connection is a pile of crap. Well, it was a pile of crap back then.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it just lost, like, the Horseman was meant to be difficult.
Yeah.
And it just seems so easy.
Well, I mean, the whole point of all this content is that if it's designed correctly, it should be optional for a start. And so, you know, not everybody has the same bent as everyone else. And in fact, even myself, my mood changes. Sometimes I like raiding, sometimes I don't want to go near it with a 40-foot barge pole. And as long as it's a component of choices that are available at the end of a game, that's fine. And I think then you can allow your game to have super hard stuff, because there will be the certain type of person that will enjoy doing that at a particular time, you know. But look, I agree. And
exactly. I mean,
yeah.
Go on.
No, well, I'm just going to say, it seems to me that Trion have actually, from what I hear, have got that balance quite right, because it seems like the raid you're talking about, they've got all of those components in there, but it's not frustrating, it's challenging, and it's a difference.
Yeah, there's actually one boss that now we have too much DPS for in Greenscale Blight, so he's going through his phases too quickly.
Oh, okay, yep. Alright, yep.
So it's now becoming that juggling act as well, so we have to sort of slow DPS on him, but then we can blast through everyone else.
Yeah, yeah. But again, that's great. It's good because it's meaning that you're having to think on your feet and be engaged, and you know, that's what you want when you've got 10, 20, 30 people all in the same virtual room trying to pull something off. So no, I absolutely applaud Trion and the philosophy that they've taken the end game. And certainly sounds to me, my friend, like you're having a whale of a time anyway, so glad to hear it. Well, there you go, folks. You've just had a 15-minute nostalgic rant about raiding. Look, a lot of people do ask about it, by the way, and we've never really sat down and talked about it. I am by no stretch of the imagination a raid expert. Tallahassee would be 100 times the raid player that I am, but I certainly hope you enjoyed that, and certainly hope you learnt something there, and at least you've got confidence that as you make your way through this game, there's actually something worthwhile at the end of it. Alright, well, my friend, we should probably get on and finish off these quests that we started here. I can see on the map we've got one called a slight malfunction. You might remember in the last episode we got 2 out of 4 of these, what are they? Keenblade Constructs, I think they're called, that we controlled, and we've got a hand in north of here as well. So let's do it, Stuart. Let's do it. Get back
Someone's
out.
tagged them all.
Tag them all. There we go. There's one.
No, I mean someone's actually gone ahead and tagged them all.
Oh, I
so
see
they're
what you
all
mean. You're
friendly
right.
at the moment.
Yeah, I just realised that. They're green. Whoops. Alright, so what's the buff on there? Looks like it's only got 1 minute left on it though. That's not so bad.
I'll try on the other side. Never know. Maybe there's someone.
Yeah, I guess we could go for a wander, see if there's any more around. Because surely there's more than 2 or 3 of them.
No. Oh, there's one.
Oh, yep. And is it... Oh, yep, it's free. Jolly good.
I'll let you take.
Oh, thank you very much. There you go, folks. You might remember in our last episode earlier in the week, just use this Control Disruptor. And there we go, 3 out of 4 of those constructs controlled now. Very cool looking. Or as Tallahassee likes to put them, the ethereal rhinoceros. There you go.
I don't know if I ever mentioned ethereal rhinoceros.
No, that was my interpretation of your interpretation. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Someone's already tagged that one again. Gosh, this is a popular area, isn't it? Far out.
Okay, you can just click on them again, even if they're already controlled.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Bonus.
Oh, look at that. All done. Fantastic. Are you finished on that one?
Yep.
Alright, I'm going to mount up.
I didn't know you could do that.
No, neither did I. Well, you wouldn't think so, especially because they've got that buff on them. You'd think that it would actually prevent you from doing it again. But it obviously stacks. That's okay. Alright, so hand in time. Here we go, Sir Alvarez Nilkova. And what is he going to give us? Going to give us a fat lump of XP and some gold. Now he wants us to retrieve the Stolen Sourcestone. Oh! Sourcestone. Now, Tallahassee. Does that ring any bells? And I'll give you a clue. A cinematic that was recently released at a particular convention that was held over this past weekend. Sourcestone? No?
Are you talking about Diablo 3?
Oh, folks, there's no pulling the wool over Tallahassee's eyes. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Because, of course, that was the name of the cinematic that got launched. The what was it? The Black Heartstone, I think it was, or the Heart of the Blacks. Oh, I can't remember. Sourcestone, something. It had the same name. I think it was the Black Sourcestone. Anyway, did you see that cinematic, my friend?
Of course, I saw that cinematic.
Yeah.
It's the only Blizzard game that I'm really waiting for.
I
know Heart of the Swarm isn't going to come out for like another 5 years.
Oh, I reckon. By the way, sorry to interrupt. Did you get the repeating controlling...
The daily quest? Yes, I did.
So the repeat of the controlling them. That one. Of the constructs. Okay, we'll grab that again. There we go.
Yep, may as well.
Might as well just quickly empty my bags as well. There you go, folks. By the way, how good have I been with my bags? Look at that. It's all nice, neat and orderly. There you go. Somehow I think there's an imposter. It's not the real Sambo. Anyway, so yes, as you've probably figured out, Tallahassee is a huge Diablo 3 fan, Diablo fan, pardon me, as am I. And Tallahassee, you're right. I think the way Blizzard work, well, for a start, the Mists of the Pandarian stuff, I don't think we're going to see that for at least 2 years, probably 3, if you ask me.
Oh, no, look, I don't think that. I think you're probably going to see it at least not this year. I don't think until sort of 3rd quarter or 4th quarter next year.
Yeah. It's it's just, traditional for them. It's always so far away. They make these announcements really far out. I mean, if you think about it. Now, I don't know if you were privy to, back in 2008, Tallahassee, the Worldwide Invitational, which was held in Paris, in France, by Blizzard. And that's where they actually chose to announce Diablo. And I don't know if you remember seeing that, but they actually announced it by getting the guitarist from Wings, yes, Paul McCartney Wings, up to play the opening chords of the Diablo theme song. And that was enough for everybody to actually recognise it and suddenly click that, oh my god, they're announcing Diablo 3, But anyway, that was 2008. It is now the end of 2011, so, you know.
Yeah, no, they don't move fast, and it's annoying.
Yeah, they take their sweet time. Oh my god, I'm gonna
die.
die.
The thing is, you can say...
Oh god.
Sorry.
That's okay. We were talking about Diablo, that's understandable. Oh, and I hit the wrong button. Never mind. Coming.
It's alright, I'll take all the fat loot.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Diablo, fat loot goes hand in hand, really. But yes, we were just talking about earlier before we were filming the collector's edition, and Tallahassee, I imagine that there's absolutely nothing that's going to stand between you and the collector's edition of Diablo 3, am I right?
Oh yeah, no, I've already pre-ordered that.
There you go.
I know that they have some special something or other going on, but I don't really care about getting World of Warcraft.
Oh, yep.
I just want the collector's edition.
Yep. And what Tallahassee's talking about there, of course, is the WoW Annual Pass, which if you subscribe to WoW for a year, you basically get a Diablo 3 Standard Edition for free. So it is a good deal, but as... Oh, PvP flag states incompatible with that target. Pardon? What? What does that mean? I can't attack him, he won't let me. Am I PvP? What? What's going on?
No, I'm flagged for PvP.
Oh. Well, it actually came up with a message.
That guy.
Oh, so you had to go PvP to get him. Okay, right. Alright. There we are. But yes, do you know what? The more I, hear about Diablo 3 in the future, I like it. Of course, yes, I've got the beta, but I honestly don't believe... I mean, you know they've delayed it again, yeah? It's now not coming out till next year.
Yeah, as I said, if ever.
Yeah, if ever. And I just don't think that what I'm playing in the beta is what we're going to see as a final product. Just by the by. But
no, I don't think so either. I think it's probably a build from like 12 months ago.
Yeah.
They just said, let's just release that and see what happens.
Yeah, probably more of a stress test or something like that. But I must say, speaking of the music, the music in the game, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Diablo 1 and 2's music, and that was written by a guy called Matt Ullman, and he, of course, has left Blizzard now. And in fact, a little bit of trivia for you. Tallahassee, did you ever play Torchlight, that nice little sort of Diablo-alike game that was on Steam?
No.
Okay, I must admit it's very good. Highly recommend it, and it's very cheap. And by the way, there we go, 4 out of 4 of those constructs done. Matt Ullman actually did the music for that, and it sounds very, very, very Diablo-ish. Like, very. So, I guess there's no surprise there.
Really?
Yep. But the cool thing is, like I said, when the Worldwide Invitational happened and they used the Diablo music to announce the Diablo 3 release back in 2008, they had the guitarist from Wings, who of course, that's Sir Paul McCartney and all the rest of it. So pretty much...
I was going to say, wasn't Paul McCartney the guitarist from Wings?
That's right. So we're talking about rock and roll royalty here. He has actually joined the Blizzard team, and he's been in the development team for a number of years, ever since then, and he's actually part responsible for the soundtrack in the game. In fact, he plays all the guitars, and he wrote a number of the themes. And I was listening to a talk about him. Oh, I've got a quest down there, by the way. Can we jump down and grab that?
Yeah, we will.
Alright, cool. Oh,
I was just following the path.
Yeah, no, good. Yeah, he said that he's taken the spirit of Matt Ullman and kept it in the game, so I'm really pleased about that. And by the way, this objective here, deliver the Gauntlet of the Vigil Pendant to Marshal Kain at Kain's command. Wherever that is, where's that? Oh, wow, that's even further into Scarwood Reach. Whoa! Alright, Tallahassee has friends. Alright, I'm unable to heal you because you're PvP. I'm going to have to flag.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's alright, I've just flagged.
No, don't flag. I got him.
Oh well, never mind. Now,
Unflag.
What is all this stuff? I'm going to unflag. Oh, sabotaging the station pumps. Right, okay, that makes sense.
Did you get that quest done, or no?
Yeah, sure did, thank you.
Okay, we're going to hit the primary pump as well.
Yeah, sabotage the primary pump. That's over there. Oh, there it is. Right, let's grab this. And of course, folks, it's very cool. We've spoke about this before. The whole Guardian thing versus the Defiance. And of course, the Defiance are all about technology. Do you see this? You know this panel here, mate? This one literally right here. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember. Way back when we started the game, you know how you come out of the church there and you do the stuff around the graveyard, and then you go down the hill into that first village? Do you know what I mean? The very first village? Yep.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
Yep. And I don't know if you remember, but we saw those panels back in one of our very earlier episodes, and I remember both of us were saying, you know what, that looks like it's a piece of technology. That's a bit weird for a high fantasy game. And of course, that was well before either of us knew that there was actually a technology component to the game. But I remember it's quite cool that they put it there, because it kind of plants that seed and makes you go, hang on, what the hell is going on here? Is that a control panel? When you're used to sort of games with dwarves and kobolds and all the rest of it, you know? It's quite a good way of subtly introducing it, if you ask me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, World of Warcraft does have that little bit of an element of technology as well.
Yeah, I suppose.
With engineering and things like that, but it's not really to the same extent that it is here.
No, nowhere near it. In fact, if anything, I think in WoW it's kind of like the light-hearted side of things. Generally, engineering and technology is all about crazy gnome inventions and stuff like that, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. But I like the way in Rift that Trion have treated it, in that they've actually threaded it into the actual lore of a faction of the game. I mean that takes a lot of work. You know, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's really said that it's a big component of the Defiant.
Yeah.
And it's part of what they do.
Yep. No, I like it a lot. Alright, so there we are, folks. We're into the final couple of minutes of our episode. Gosh, we say this every time, but it goes so fast when we're playing Rift. It really does. Now, why is that rabbit... Did that rabbit have a debuff on it from you? Was that an AoE debuff that you cast? Because it was... Oh, there you go. It's
No.
lunch now. That's what it is. So, before we go into the wrap-up, my friend, do you have any raids planned this weekend? And just again, for those folk that are new to our Let's Play series and who are considering joining the Seraphim Guild, can you tell us again what the guild's attitude is towards raiding? Because, I mean, you know, whenever some people hear about guilds and raids, they freak out and think, oh god, I'm going to have to get forced into a raid, or I'm going to get kicked from the guild, or I'm going to have to worry about DKP points, and oh, it's just all pressure and I can't be bothered because I get that at work.
No, the guild isn't about that. The guild is, if you want to go ahead and do raids, you can come along and do raids. If you are going to come along and do raids, though, they would like you to come along to the raid and actually, you know, sign up and participate and have all the consumables ready to go, so anything that you might need, so mana pots, tablets, all those sorts of things, they want you to have that all ready.
Right. Yep.
You know, and you are expected to have the minimum amount of hit or focus or whatever it might be for your particular class.
Right. Which makes sense.
And they want you to come along with a good attitude as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, isn't it? And I mean, the guild has got such a great reputation in that respect as well, that they've got a great attitude. But I guess what you're saying, Tallahassee, is just because the guild is saying, hey, you don't have to be a hardcore raider to be in the guild. We're quite happy if you just want to be a casual player. What you're saying is, though, that if you are going to come to a raid, then 1, be prepared, and 2, be responsible, and 3, in Will Wheaton's words, don't be a dick, right?
Pretty much. You know, we just want people that are actually going to be responsible. We want people that are going to turn up. If you can't turn up, then if you just let us know, we've got attendance sheets on the forum as well, and you can go ahead and sign up. If you're going to be late, just put a note on it. Those sorts of things.
So common sense.
That's what's expected from what's expected from the guild.
Yep. And you know what? That's great, because it does mean at the end of the day that the raid experience goes through nice and smoothly, because just like you were alluding to earlier in this episode, Tallahassee, is nothing worse than just trying to get the people in the same place at the same time before you've even struck your first blow. Half the battle is actually getting everyone there. So I guess what you're saying is happy for casual players, but if you're going to throw your glove in the ring and go for a raid, then be responsible. And by the way, folks, being responsible, don't freak out. That doesn't mean that you have to, live up to some ridiculous expectations either. If everyone has their first raid, everyone's nervous on their first raid, and I think the best thing that you can do with a good guild that has a good attitude like this one is be honest with them. Don't pretend to be something you're not. So don't say, yeah, I've done it 1,000 times before, when you haven't, because that just basically puts the guild in a very difficult position, because they'll be relying on you and you won't come through. You're much better to say, guys, actually I've never done this before, and in fact this is my first ever raid. You know what? The guys are probably still going to take you along, and because they know that, they're going to give you some of the lesser tasks and explain some things for you and try and build you up and build your confidence up. So there's no point lying about your experience either, and I see that myself over and over again, and it just doesn't help anybody. Anyway, now Tallahassee, before we do sign off, why is your armor looking different and awesome? It's been bugging me all night. Now I know that we don't get together all that often, so maybe nothing's changed, but to me it looks like something's changed.
No, nothing's changed. There's new boots.
Alright, what about the colour?
Other than that,
the colour?
No, it's still the same Guardian one that it was before.
So it's always been that blue and bronze?
Yeah, blue, gold, and like a silver.
Yeah, wow, okay. Maybe it's the lighting of this zone, but it just seems to be sticking out for some reason, and I swear it was a different colour. But anyway, there we go. Looks awesome though, must say. Love the shoulder. I love how one shoulder's big. It's like a Herod's shoulder from WoW kind of thing. Well, that's my example.
Now, how much time do we have left?
We've got about -3 minutes, but that's okay. What did you have in mind?
I was going to say, do you want to ride over to Kain's Reach? It's actually not that far away.
Where's Kain's Reach? Is that where our... No.
It's where all the quest hand-ins are.
So there, I've just marked on the map.
Yep.
Alright, well we're over time anyway, so let's do that. And that's a good idea, because that'll set us up nicely for our next episode, folks. Whoa, look at that sky! Now, come on, Tallahassee, you must admit I've been very good in a number of the last few episodes where I have not been doing the tourist thing and not been hijacking the show with gawking around, but you got to admit that's an awesome looking sky. Come on.
You'll do some gawking in a second.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that view very well.
Oh, I can. Whoa, look at... Oh, falling off. Look at that, folks. That is... Oh, look at that bridge. Whoa. And look, there's like these big rolling plains out there heading off into a mountain range, basically.
Yep. So this is the area that we're going to be questing in.
Wow. Okay, that looks just supremely awesome. Seriously. Again, the sense of scale that the designers have managed to convey in this game is pretty much unparalleled. You know what? The only other game that pulls it off at all is a game that I know you don't like. Oh, look at this! There's swamps. That is so well done. Seriously, I'm sorry, I'm having another tourist moment here. That looks incredible. That is exactly what a grassy swampland looks like, isn't it? You must admit that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I agree. That's what it looks like.
Wow. Wow.
And then when you get to where I am on this particular road...
Coming. Just got knocked off, but... Wait a minute, there's a road?
Yeah, it's coming.
Help me, I got friends. Oh my god, there's actually a road.
Yeah, there's a road. Have a look at the tiles on it.
Yeah. Look at the detail in them. But hang on, it's not very often that you actually come across an actual road in an MMO. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you come across beaten paths, but very rarely do you actually come across... This is like a highway. This is amazing.
Yeah, it pretty much spans the entire length of this particular zone. Okay,
that is awesome. And this zone is just changing the more... Look at that view, folks. Look at it behind us. In the sky, the evening sky, the trees over there. Oh, hang on. Hey, Tallahassee, sorry to keep gawking, but is that where I've just clicked and where I'm looking? Is that where we were when we started? Like, that's the area that we were questing in, with the blue flowers on the ground and stuff.
Yeah, that's where we started off.
Wow, so we've come right around. This is just, it's amazing. But then over here it starts to get all sort of lush and damp, and you can see there's ferns, there's swamps, mushrooms, you know, all the sort of dark, cold, damp stuff that you associate with, you know, the moss and lichen on the trees there. Oh, there's a porticulum over there as well. Excuse me.
Yep, so we'll go grab the porticulum, that way we can zone in and zone out. But wow. Yeah, this is Kain's Reach. Okay,
this is very, very cool. I like the look. Oh, wow, look at that building too. That is so cool. It's got that shield on the front of it. All right, I'm liking this. This looks like it's a major hub of activity as well.
For this particular zone, this is the main area or the main camp.
Whoa. Now, I don't have to bind my soul, do I?
No, you don't have to if you don't want to.
But I can just... How do I unlock it? I just talk to him, don't I think? Is that all?
Yep, just talk to him. I'm probably going to bind myself here, that way if I need to zone in, zone out, I can come back here.
Oh, okay. Well, I might as well do the same. Here we are. Bind, 16 gold. Okay. You have bound
otherwise
your soul?
I end up in glowing
right.
wood. Yep, I've bound my soul.
Hey, the
and around here somewhere, I can't remember the...
Yeah.
I think it's the big tree behind us. You could actually end up going up that for a quest.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I love about this area, this spot right here, in fact, is the lighting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see it, but there's the orange glow of the fire. Like, you can see it on the back of this
NPC. It sort of pulses.
Yeah. And it just gives you that really sort of warm feeling, like what it's like when you're camping, when you're out in the middle of the woods at night and you get a fire going and it's freezing cold except for the small radius around your fire. Look at that. Yeah, see these guys here, they're holding their hands over that fire. That is just brilliant. Seriously, all the little visual clues to say, hey, we're like an outpost out in the middle of the whoops, it's freezing cold and we're just out here surviving, and bloody hell, look at those dogs. That's amazing. Fang and... Okay, I am going to very much enjoy questing around here. This is good.
Do you want to just check your mail? I got an email or a in-game mail from a viewer of ours, Cerai, C-E-R-A-I.
No, not me.
Okay, they're leaving the guild, or they're leaving the game.
Oh, yeah.
They sent a message through saying, a parting gift, enjoy watching your Let's Play series with Sam. I'm leaving the game, so I thought I'd send you my cash. Well, cheers. And he sent me 28 platinum.
28?
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you very much. It's much appreciated.
Jeebus. Well done. Yeah, thank you very much, Sarai. That's amazing. I do have some mail there, but look, we've run way out of time. What we'll do is we'll look at the mailbox at the beginning of the next episode. This, mate, this is fantastic. This sort of area is exactly my cup of tea. We'll check the mail. We'll do all that in the next episode. I'm really looking forward to that. That's great. Sarai, sorry to hear that you're leaving the game. If you're watching this Let's Play episode, aside from accepting, obviously, Tallahassee and mine's thanks, would you, if you don't mind, leave us a comment, an honest comment, and let us know why you're leaving, unless there's a personal reason, of course. But if it's anything to do with the game, you know what we like here. As much as we sing the praises of the games, you know, it's not always roses. all the time. You know, that's just life. So we'd love to know your reasoning for it, unless it's, you know, obviously life situation or financial or something like that. But if there's something in the game that's run out or that you don't agree with, all that feedback is great, as long as it's constructive, of course. So let us know. Well, Tallahassee, that's an early Christmas present for you, my friend. What on earth are you going to put that towards, do you think?
I don't know. Possibly Horse-and-Ale.
Horse-and-Ale.
Okay, I just noticed there's an NPC. I just noticed that there's an NPC called Petard Dunkelage.
Oh.
And I'm thinking if it's a play on words for Peter Dinklage, who plays Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones. He's actually a dwarf as well.
Really? I don't watch the show.
It's the Porter Kain Master.
Oh, really? Hang on, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter Dinklage. Oh, okay, maybe. It sounded like it to me. Like I say, I don't watch the game, the series, but yeah, that sounds right.
Have you ever seen In Bruges?
No.
He's in that as well.
No, I haven't.
Okay, you haven't seen that? Go see that.
All
People
right.
at home, go find that as well. Go watch that. It's a really good movie.
Yes, sir. Generally, Tallahassee's recommendations are spot on, by the way. Alright folks, we need to get out of here. We're about 15 minutes over time. We'll blame Tallahassee for that one. Thank you for getting us here, my friend. This is awesome fun. I'm really going to enjoy questing around here. This is my kind of zone. Big thanks again to Sarai for your wonderful gift to Tallahassee. Thanks to Tallahassee as well, by the way, for going through all of the raid experience stuff at the beginning of this episode. I think it's nice to sit down and have that chat every now and then about particular components of the game. Yeah, sure, it's not as exciting as watching us running around killing things, but there's a lot of good information there. So thanks for that, my friend. Really appreciate it. Alright guys, hope you'll join us in the next episode.
I was just saying you're welcome.
Oh, well, thank you. And by the way, let's see how far we can get through the series without me referring to your nipples again. I think by the time next week rolls around, I probably will have forgotten. But anyway,
Less than 40 minutes.
Less than 40 minutes, he's probably right. So folks, there you go. Lots to do in the next episode. Lots that we covered off in this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Certainly hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. On behalf of myself, Sambo, Tallahassee, and of course, Seraphis here, it's us saying take care. We'll see you next time, and bye-bye.